welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations all in hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm underwhelmed.
And this week, we've returned to Oz with a vengeance, with the 2025 sequel, Wicked for Good.
Mm-hmm.
Before we visit our college roommate right on the night before her wedding, remember you can help us on Mortified, the Legitimacy Quest by smashing that like and subscribe on YouTube, leaving us a review on iTunes, or just telling a friend about the show. Leyla.
Aaron.
We finished Wicked! Yay!
Woo!
How we feel?
Part 1 was fine. I feel kinder towards part 1.
That is so strange to me, because I've had the inverse response.
How do you... Yeah, okay. How do you feel?
Listen, I think broadly, right? If you're gonna redo Wicked for the big screen,
for
good, if you want to do it well, you don't split it into two movies. But they did, and they're gonna make $1 billion between the two of them, and that's fucking fine.
They're also gonna make Wicked spin-off movies. So we're looking at the WCU, the Wicked Cinematic Universe.
I don't know much about the Wizard of Oz extended universe, but I do know that there is a bit where there's a transgender boy in one of those movies, so I can't wait for them to make Wizard of Oz woke. That'll be great. But yeah, like, if you're gonna do this thing, if you want to make money, if you want to, or not even if you're going to do this with under the compromised conditions that Chu et al. Had to do it, I think you did a fine job. I think the worst thing they did in part 1 was to make Defying Gravity 25 goddamn minutes long. That's the worst thing they could do, is ruin Defying Gravity. And everything else besides that, I don't really give a shit about. Like, I think 2 completely sticks the landing and I think the performances are great. I think the set is gorgeous. I'm happy with all the changes they make. I think everything that's wrong with 2 is something that's wrong with 2 because of Steven Schwartz, right? Like, and I think that this movie ultimately was completely fine.
That's so generous of you.
All right, I genuinely, I can't believe I have to be in the position of defending one of the most beloved and well received musicals of all time, but like, I'm excited to see why you didn't like this. I don't understand why you didn't like this. It's
like a 70-30 split of 70% is, as you said, things wrong with Act 2 of Wicked, which is like, the thing about Wicked, which, there are many Wicked-themed slime tutorials one could look up to experience the magic of Wicked on youtube.com. The thing about Wicked is that when you go see it live or watch a slime tutorial, Act 1 is so strong and so fun that you you go to the theater and then you get the battle cry, whatever version of the battle cry. I'm not gonna do it. And then it goes, the theater goes dark. And then you're on intermission and you're fucking vibrating. You're shaking. You're like, damn, that was crazy. It was a crazy thing that I just witnessed. And then you go on intermission, you buy your merch, as any good Broadway goer does, right? Your overpriced mug, your overpriced t-shirt, and you get back in the theater and you're like, damn, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen in the world of Wicked. And then the curtain goes up and you just jump right in to thank goodness. You got Glinda singing, and you are coasting through the hot mess of Act 2 of Wicked on raw energy, right? Like, it's only an hour of your life.
Yeah, it is 1 hour long, and I think that can't be understated, right? It is quick, it is a mess, but it is over very quickly.
And it is part of the initial experience of Wicked Act 1 that you saw 20 minutes ago. So it's part of the same fucking thing. The problem with Wicked for Good is that it's supposed to be its own movie when it doesn't work. It's not a thing. Like, if you want to view it as an extension of Wicked Part 1, I guess, but like, I don't. I'm like, okay, you made me pay $25 at AMC, not including my snacks, to go watch Act 2 of Wicked. My favorite Letterboxd review was just, yup, that's Act 2 of Wicked.
Yeah.
I think twice as long.
I think this is a fundamental divide in the way we view media, Leyla.
Sure.
This came up when we were talking about Andor, right? And Rogue One, right? Like, I know this. I completely sympathize and even to some degree agree with the fact that, like, if you produce a work of art, it should be able to stand on its own, right? You shouldn't have to have watched the fucking, Marvel Cinematic Universe to understand why Endgame matters, right? Because that's kind of silly. But I also think that when you are taking a work on its own merits, you kind of have to be like, okay, I should at least have some idea what it is coming off of. And I understand why you think that's bullshit to some degree. Maybe it is bullshit. But like, they split the movie up. And I'm just like, well, yeah, I guess this is a movie that's not going to be able to stand on its own without part 1. And that's just the way that we've been making movies for the last, not 20 years, but maybe 18, maybe 15 years. And, that's okay. I just accepted that.
But the thing we disagreed on in Andor was just the amount of background knowledge and homework you have to do to understand it, right? Whether or not you have to have watched Rogue One to understand Andor. This is a different issue. I'm just talking about, okay, you're making me sit down to watch 2 hours of something. Is it structurally a fucking movie? I don't think For Good is. I think it is a series of vignettes. And most of that is just Wicked Act 2 being what it is. Like, I'm not saying that there's some like critical flaw. I think there are a couple of criminal acts John M. Chu committed. We'll talk about him. But, otherwise, I think he did what he could do under the constraints with the source material. The source material is just flawed. But I'm going to say the same thing, which we didn't do an episode of on Wicked Part 1. I'm going to say the same thing I said about Wicked Part 1.
We did.
Did we?
We very much did. It's one of our longest episodes. Are you okay, dude?
No. What? Am I okay?
Listen, I know you're not okay, but buddy, you've had a hell of a year.
Am I okay? No. What kind of a question is that? No, I'm losing my mind. Anyway, I'll say the same thing I said about Wicked Part 1, is if you're going to add shit, make it fucking count, right? And they added a bunch of bullshit. None of it did anything with the structure of Wicked Part 2, and in fact, it made it worse. What are we doing? Anyway, Steven Schwartz, it's on site.
Steven Schwartz, thank you for Pippin. You can't win them all.
No, I will say I'm coming off more of a hater than I think I am. I am like middle neutral about this movie. I wouldn't be mad if somebody put it on in the background. I just don't think it should have been its own movie. That is my fundamental gripe here.
Yeah, and we don't disagree at that, right? It's a mistake to make this a second movie.
Yeah.
I've accepted that. I accepted this in like 2021 when they're like, hey, we're making a Wicked movie, and you and I were like, what the fuck are they going to do with Act 2? And the answer is, well, this.
Okay, let's so we should really quickly, a little bit of housekeeping before we get into it. This will actually be the last episode in which we use this format where we go through a plot summary and like talk about it beat by beat. Through our discussion of our Hugh Jackman marathon, which if you haven't listened to our Hugh Jackman marathon episode, you're missing out because it was
all-timer.
The most fun I've ever had. We are actually going to do something a little closer to that going forward, where we're going to lean a little bit more into series. We're going to do shorter summaries and try to like do more discussion for no reason other than that is the direction we are growing in as critics. So we're going to try it. It's probably going to be a little hit or miss at first. We appreciate your patience, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it, hopefully.
Yeah. But let's talk about the actual plot of Wicked for Good, because I think these problems and disagreements we have with it are just going to come up throughout. And We'll get into it further.
Well, there are going to be. I have a feeling there's a big thing we're about to agree on, though. So let's go.
Okay. Do you want to do the summary?
Yeah, sure. Why the fuck not? So, however many years after the events of the 2024 film, Wicked: Part 1. Does that one have a title, or is it just Wicked just Part 1?
Nope, just Wicked.
All right, here we go. Elphaba is now a one-woman terrorist organization. She flies around Oz, freeing enslaved animals, seeking to spread the truth about the wizard, in the song Every Day More Wicked. Sure. Meanwhile, Glinda is working as a propaganda figurehead for the wizard and Madame Morrible, still played by the hot and beautiful Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, Michelle Yeoh, Auntie.
Oh, Michelle Yeoh, Auntie. They should have gotten you someone to sing for you, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. You are a hero of Asian cinema. You cannot sing, and that's okay. You are the fucking martial artist of all time. You didn't have. I don't know why John Chu made you sing. He's a fucking fool. You were great in Crazy Rich Asians, I guess. But
when she opened her mouth, the only thought in my head was, "Oh, they let you do that."
A disservice to an icon of cinema. John Chu, I think you did an okay job with this. You should be beaten with sticks for
not
making
getting her
Michelle
a voice.
Yeah. Just do the fucking Disney Channel. Have someone else sing for her. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It wasn't fucking Zac Efron singing in the first movie. That's for fucking sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. To help morale during these troubling times, Glinda is really there just to lift people's spirits, and she decides to announce her engagement to Fiyero, which is a surprise to him. And this is in the... Hold on. Is Thank Goodness and I Couldn't Be Happier, those are two songs on the soundtrack?
They are pitched as one song on the Wikipedia.
Sure. Okay. Fiyero is troubled by the way people are treating Elphaba, and Glinda says she's also upset by it, but has to do her duty to Oz. Can you imagine being surprised by an engagement?
It's bad. It seems bad. I mean, listen, when I proposed to my wife, she did seem surprised, but it was also, 6 months after she had been like, hey, if we're going to get married, here's 3 rings that I would like, pick one. So it wasn't that much of a surprise to her.
I was going to say that does sound like your wife, though. Very Aries coded. Here's these 3 options.
Listen, at that point, we had been dating for 7 years. I mean,
that's how I would do it. I would be like, here's these 3, fucking have at it. Just surprise me with whichever one you pick and don't let me hold it beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this. So I was commenting on your notes while you were taking them last night because you rewatched this movie willingly.
It was fine. I had a good time.
Sure. And we both come to agree that there are only a couple of songs in Act 2 of Wicked that are worth anything. Which for me, I think Thank Goodness is one of my top 3 songs in Wicked. I think it is Defying Gravity, No Good Deed, and then Thank Goodness, I think are my 3, with Mob Song coming in a close 4th.
What do you like about Thank Goodness?
I like that moment of Glinda interiority where she does her little aside and she's like, oh, I couldn't be happier, except it is coming at a cost, but I'm barely willing to admit what the cost is. I think it's nice.
There are bridges that you crossed you didn't know you crossed until you crossed them.
Yeah.
It's a fun line.
It's fun. I like the way Ariana performs it. I like the way Kirsten Chenoweth performs it. I think it's good. It's a good song. Makes me feel things.
For performance-wise, I think both Erivo and Grande do a great job in this show. I love both of their performances throughout.
Oh, this movie does not deserve them.
No.
Or, for that matter, Jonathan Bailey.
Everybody here is putting in 100%, and unfortunately, the result is not the sum of its parts, but you know what? I don't think that's any of the performers' faults.
No. Anyway, so Elphaba, so Elphaba crashes this wedding, and the opening,
not the wedding yet. This is the opening of the Yellow Brick Road, which there's an opening sequence here that I didn't really put in the notes, but there are, woolly rhinoceri that are pulling this like big machine that is laying the bricks for the yellow brick road.
They are cool.
And I think that's so sick. One, I love Ice Age era animals. I think those are cool. I really like the idea that they are doing the thing that I love in fiction, which is interrogating the labor that goes into building, like who, like, you know, one of the big things that I'm thinking about is like, you know, who does the work in Minas Tirith, right? Who is farming to keep the people in Lord of the Rings fed? Because that never comes up in the movies. This is another thing. Who built the yellow brick road? And the answer is animal slaves, which I think is a great answer, and you know, it's probably in the Gregory Maguire book. But I like that the movie is going there and showing that, and it being like, yeah, Elphaba's a fucking freedom fighter. And I just, you know, it is a small scene, but I like it a lot.
I like it. I will take the same umbrage with it as I take with Elphaba flying off after the battle cry and defying gravity. John Chu's putting too much sauce on it. You gotta, Elphaba does her, you know, the whatever the fuck she does, the battle cry, and then it goes down, and then you cut to black. That is what you do. You don't need to see her flying off. It's the same thing with Wicked Part 2. I like this scene. I don't like where it is. Like, you just need to open on, oh, what a celebration we'll have today. Like, it's just frustrating because it's a flow thing. It's a strange directorial decision. It's too much sauce. But anyway,
I don't even necessarily disagree. But like, I think one thing that I want to point out is that like the first movie so thoroughly soured my expectations for this one that I went into this and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, they're gonna make the pacing, you know, half as quick as it needs to be, but that's fine.
The first movie in my brain is coasting on my good-ish graces only by the strength of the choreography of the first part of Dancing Through Life.
Listen, that was a great number. Don't get me wrong. I did have, my bladder was the fullest it's ever been immediately following it.
That was me through Defying Gravity. I had to piss so bad I wanted to kill myself. Anyway, Elphaba crashes the opening of the Yellow Brick Road with some skywriting. It says, so you would think she would write The Wizard Lies, but she has to write Our Wizard Lies so that Michelle Yeoh can do a little magic trick that to make it say Kill Oz or some shit instead.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah, it's goofy, but it's fine.
So on her way out, Elphaba also spots some animals fleeing Oz to the place beyond, which is just fucking Ericus, and tries to convince them to stay and help her fight the wizard in a song called No Place Like Home. It's a nothing song that Cynthia Erivo does her best with.
So I read the Wikipedia for both No Place Like Home and The Girl in the Bubble, and at least the one for the No Place Like Home, there is like a whole, 300-word paragraph about how Erivo and Chu and maybe even Stephen Schwartz like had a conversation about how this was about how people feel in America right now, how people feel like they are being asked to leave, but also it's important to stand and fight for, your place in the your place in your country, even when it's under attack in this like authoritarian time. It goes on, and I fully believe that Ervo and Chu and Schwartz like had these big feelings about this song. It wasn't that good, unfortunately.
I hate to say it. It's giving Imagine 2020. I
wouldn't say that. That's too far. That's
Gal
Gadot was not in this one.
I think that a bunch of rich people doing this song is very Imagine coded.
Listen, I'm not saying there's not a 0% chance that in 2028 a bunch of women wearing strange hats won't sing this song as they march upon the White House. But like,
actually, I would love that. That would redeem this song for me.
Hey, listen, opportunity for political battle cry. We'll take it.
Yeah, and then I want them to do the Elphaba cry at the end, obviously. Yeah, it's a whatever song. I don't remember how it goes. I don't care to.
I think it's a nice choice to try to bring in the like pre-Wizard of Oz, There's No Place Like Home theming and phrasing, and even the idea that like you have a home you need to return to and fight for. I like all of it in intention. It's just not executed well.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's Erivo's fault.
No, not at all. It's choreographed just like No Place Like Home. It's a solo she sits through. It's fine. Anyway, the Cowardly Lion shows up and whines about how he sucks now because Elphaba saved him from a cage, which is very funny. He also...
Did you know that the Cowardly Lion has a name?
No.
What do you think the Cowardly Lion's name is?
I don't know. It's Aaron?
It's Brrr. B-R-R-R.
That is very funny.
Something I found on Wikipedia, a hilarious name.
That's good. He also reveals that Elphaba gave the monkeys their wings, which is overheard by Chistery, the flying monkey, or the leader of the flying monkeys. Mm-hmm. I think Best Supporting Actor Oscar should go to Chistery, TBH. I really like Chistery in this movie.
It is actually phenomenal how much they get out of a CGI monkey. It's like the facial expressions, and even though Chistery literally only speaks one line in this movie, it is very effective, I think.
I like Chistery. A highlight for me in this slog. We cut to Munchkin Land, where Elphaba's sister, Nessa Rose, is governor. Their father has died, leaving her in charge of Munchkin Land. The League of Governors wants her to sign a decree stating that no animals may move around Oz without a permit. Bach, who is still her caretaker/boyfriend, unknown, is upset by this. He also says that he should leave Nessa for now, and she gets upset by that. So he wants to leave because he saw the newspaper article that Fiyero and Glinda are getting in Toulouse. Toulouse, is anything you're doing necessary right now?
Yes.
Bach wants to leave because he saw the newspaper article that Fiyero and Glinda are engaged. And I just want to know how down bad you have to be for a girl who hasn't looked at you since your undergrad or / maybe graduate school, unclear, that you are going to leave your job at your home to go tell her you love her when she's getting engaged to the captain of the guard.
I've met men like this.
I bet you have.
It's unfortunate. There are just a lot of men like this in the world.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Do you think Bach would name a ChatGPT after Glinda?
Oh, don't. We can't.
I'm just asking. Do you think we would find him on R?
Feeds her texts into Oz's shitty ChatGPT.
Yeah.
God, I want
Wiz GPT.
Wiz GPT. Chat OZ. And the little icon is the wizard's mechanical robot face. And he feeds his text to Glinda in there, and and the thing is that it's both way too compliant, but also there's just not enough there for their conversation for it to even have a real response to him. And he's like, "No, I can't get this thing working."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I bet you it would have, because Glinda is who she is in the universe. I bet you could get a Glinda voice for your Wiz GPT.
Oh yeah, 100%. She's made that deal.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Really funny.
Anyway.
We're just writing fanfic in the middle of our podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Modern AU. So Bach tries, Nessa's like, yeah, whatever, fuck off, you can go ahead and leave. And then he leaves. And then she not only signs the Animal Mobility Act, but Nessa's always also, hold on, I have to fucking stop this cat from being a criminal.
Wow. Leyla really being like animals should be seen and not heard on their own podcast. Hashtag do not let Toulouse be silenced. Hashtag there's no place like the kitchen where Toulouse belongs. Hashtag
in the crimes that you were doing.
Hashtag free
Why are you
Toulouse.
always so chill and asleep until I have to be on a recording or a microphone? I don't think that's very cool or fair. I'm not that distracted.
Hashtag let's break Toulouse out of his bubble.
Anyway.
You're editing this one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Can't wait to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you said while I was.
Okay. Great.
Talking to my cat. Anyway. So yes. So Nessa says, yes, Bach, you can go ahead and go. But then not only does she sign the Animal Mobility Act, but she also signs a little addendum, a little addition that says, actually, Munchkins can't go anywhere without papers either. So, forcing Bach back into her service.
I think, so one, they break this up in the movie in a weird way, because in the musical, all the stuff that happens with Elphaba and Bach is all there. This like this prequel bit where she's like, hey, Bach tries to leave twice in the movie, which is an odd choice. In the musical, Bach is already, confronting Elphaba and being like, hey, she's already signed this act, right? That's already happened. So I think it's a weird choice. I know, again, made because they need to split the movie up and make it longer. So, kind of a misstep. Another thing that I think is a useful but odd change, not odd, but it puts the movie in an odd position. When they made The Wizard of Oz 1938, they cast munchkins as people with dwarfism, little people. I'm not sure what the most polite way to say that is, but, they cast them as a certain kind of person, right? They didn't do that in this movie, but now munchkins as a fantasy race are just people with red curly hair.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just a strange choice to be like, fuck gingers in particular. Like, I don't know. I think it's probably for the best, but I do think that if you have to retain the like fantasy racism, I don't know. It's an odd choice. I don't know that I'm necessarily opposed to it, but it is weird, I think.
I do think fuck gingers in particular is like the funniest way you could go about it.
It is funny. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know if it's the best, but it is the funniest.
Right.
So, Elphaba shows up to visit Nessa, who is extremely upset with her because she abandoned her. Nessa accuses Elphaba of never helping her with her magic. Elphaba then casts a spell that gives Nessa's shoes the ability to float. Nessa is delighted by this and believes this will make Bach love her again. Sure.
I want to point out something that actually really worked for me in this movie, which I'm sure you will disagree with because it's kind of nothing. But there is a very short flashback to the five of them: Glinda, Elphaba, Nessa, Fiero, and who am I missing? Bach. Yes, God, I've forgotten even my own anecdote about him. There is like a 5-second flashback when Nessa's like, I want you to bring things back to the way they used to be between them. And we get this very short flashback of the five of them in college, right? And they're all just kind of hanging out at some tree or whatever, and they're chilling and they're laughing and they're having a good time. And it really suggested to me, it implied to me that there was like this whole history of friends like hanging out and doing college kid shit that we never saw in Act 1, that I think really does suggest and make it seem like this group of friends is having like the world's worst friend group breakup in a real way. And even though it was like a 5-second shot that really didn't do anything, I do like that the movie hinted at that and suggested that like complete history. Maybe that's just because I had such a close group of friends in college, and that sort of storytelling resonates with me. But I do think it is a smart choice to suggest at that. And again, me coming from a tabletop RPG way of reading things, right? Sometimes it's just better to hint at something than to actually put it in the text. Yeah, no, I liked it. Why wouldn't I like that? Oh, just because I'm giving the movie credit for something it doesn't actually do. That's
fine. No, so my only gripe, extremely minor gripe, is that by the time I got to the end of this movie, I was so over its shit that what should have been a very cute return to that flashback where you get Ariana with like a white blanket draped over her head whispering in Elphaba's ear to like mimic the composition of the poster, the original Wicked poster, like the iconic image of it. At that point, I was so over the movie that I rolled my eyes at that. But like, had it been a better movie, I would have really liked that as a callback. It's just contextually, I was tired.
Yeah, Sierra had to point out that's what they were doing to me because I was like, what the fuck? That was a crazy way to end your movie.
Yeah, no, they were. Yeah, we'll talk about the meta of the movie at some point because that is one of my biggest problems. Is just the meta surrounding this whole thing. Anyway, Bach tells Nessa that now she can move without a wheelchair, so he should be free to leave and confess his love to Galinda. Nessa is like, no, I want your heart actually, and casts a spell from the Gribbery, which Elphaba, I guess, just like left open. Sure. How does that go in the play?
So, this is one of the things that I just rewatched. You know, Bach comes in, tells her that like, hey, now that you can walk, I'm gonna dip out and go confess my love to Elphaba. And
Glinda.
Sorry, thank you, Glinda. Nessa gets really upset, and because of the slime tutorials filming, I don't know where the Grimoire is. But you know, it seems like Elphaba carries it around with her, but Nessa like dives to the front of the stage, and the Grimoire is like already on like stage center. So she dives right into the front of the stage and begins to read from it. And Elphaba is like, "Hey, stop that!" But that's what happens in the musical. Again, you know, I just think that the movie is doing it the best way that it can from a weird thing in the musical.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's a little contrived, but if it's contrived in the stage play, then I'm not going to give the movie a demerit for it.
Yep.
Anyway, she fucks a spell up because of course she does, and she shrinks his heart like a reverse like a reverse Grinch, nearly killing him. And their song is called Wicked Witch of the East, sure. Elphaba saves his life by transforming him into the Tin Man. I agree with you that I do really like this transformation sequence where it's just a bunch of silverware and shit sticking to him.
Yeah, it's great. It's scary. Bach looks like he's gonna fucking die. Nessa, I think the Wicked Witch of the East song, again, in the musical, not very long. They do cut it down even more here, which I think maybe was a mistake. I think like they should have given Nessa a little bit more time to sing, because this line where she's like, you know, it's just, you know, the girl in the mirror and me, the Wicked Witch of the East. It does feel like it's kind of a one-off. It doesn't feel like a full song. But yeah, I mean, at the end when Bach comes out and you know goes all Jack Nicholson, it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah, it does fuck. It's really great. Yeah, Elphaba flies off to meet Glinda the night before her wedding day in a completely heterosexual and platonic manner. And then when Bach emerges, shining style, and seems ready to kill Nessa, she blames everything on Elphaba. It just sucks.
So we talked about this in my notes. I think that they make, I think the actress whose name is, Marissa Bodie or Bode, she does a great job of playing Nessa Rose. However, like the character of Nessa Rose just sucks. She is such a piece of shit, which again is just something that's in the musical. She always blames Elphaba for her problems. I think it's such a strange choice to be like our only disabled character also happens to suck.
Diversity win.
Diversity. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You know, diversity winning. Plenty of people are terrible, no matter what their disabilities are.
Yeah, I think I'm trying really hard not to complain about the individual beats of this movie because so many of them are just a symptom of the fact that Act 2 is its own movie. But it is just one of those things where, like, John Chu, I think, puts too much sauce on Nessa. As much as I like this actress and like seeing her on screen, puts too much sauce on Nessa Rose because I think it works in the musical, in the original stage performance, where you get that little bit of Nessa in the very beginning. You get the Nessa who falls for Bach, kind of being like, oh, Glinda's kissing someone else. Well, Nessa, I'm here at the dance because you are so beautiful. Like, that's good. And then she has this moment where there's just enough of her in Act 2 where you could see that the way she is just an escalation of what she was like at Dear Old Shiz, right? Right. But I think it's just like too much sauce on her. In for good, and what that does is it makes her like more than flawed. It makes her just kind of evil. Just like I would argue she's more evil than the fucking wizard because she literally passes a law to keep her boyfriend. Yeah.
Not only she does the animal racism that the wizard is already doing, but she does pass a little extra one that's like, and also this racial group.
And also the munchkins that I'm in charge of. And like we see the scene at the train station, the guards are like gleefully keeping the munchkins at home. It's giving CPB in a big way.
I was gonna say, yeah, even this movie's like a cab, even in Oz.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. And then I will get to the death of the Wicked Witch of the East, which, that's coming. I think it is, Elphaba has an underreaction to her sister's death in a weird way, and it just doesn't work for me. But we'll get there. Elphaba goes to see Glinda again the night before her wedding. Very heterosexual. Glinda convinces Elphaba to speak to the wizard so that maybe they could work together and stop oppressing the animals. This is the song Wonderful. Jeff Goldblum has a great time, I think.
Yeah, he does. He's having a fun time playing with his trains and gadgets. I think the song itself broadly is incredibly boring, but
it's boring in the musical.
Yeah, not Jeff Goldblum's fault.
No.
I will say, Sierra pointed this out to me, Glinda is not there in the musical, and I think it really absolutely helps to have Glinda be the person to bring Elphaba to the wizard and be like, hey, we can all work this out together. I think it just having that little bit of interiority and connectivity of those two girls together, especially there's a great shot of them. They like make a little swing out of Elphaba's broom and they like go into like a little magic or like a light show room. I don't know what's happening, but there's a bunch of really pretty colors and lights. It's really cool. And this moment where they do the, Defying Gravity reprise, Unlimited, Together We're Unlimited, that really helps to, I think, sell the betrayal that happens here in a couple minutes. I really, I think it's just a smart choice.
I agree. I really liked this sequence. I liked having Glinda there. I liked the choreography of her constantly copying the movements of Jeff Goldblum as the wizard. I really liked the throwback to their dance from part 1. Very strong. It's a good sequence, and I fully agree. I think it was one of the stronger parts of the movie, despite the song itself being kind of mid. But man, Broadway, there's something about it's like this and Mr. Cellophane from Chicago. Like, guys, you are wasting incredible actors on the most mid songs.
Is it Starkid who does the skit that's like, this is the song in the musical that is the most boring part, and cites specifically Mr. Cellophane and Wonderful, and it's like, this is the song where an old man, perhaps somebody who's well regarded in Hollywood or Broadway, but is kind of old at this point, gets to sing a song that's like not very high or low, it's just kind of very mid and tame, and it's probably a good time for you to go get a drink. I'll have to find a link to send you about
please
that.
Do.
But that's just a thing that people know that happens in musicals where it's like, we can't have them all be bangers, so we have to put some stinkers in there so you can take a piss.
Yeah. Or, you get Josh Groban in your musical and you write him a mid solo called Dust and Ashes and you hang your entire marketing on it. You could do that too. Anyway, Elphaba initially agrees to this deal on the condition that the wizard frees the flying monkeys. It seems like everything's going to work out, but Elphaba discovers that the wizard has been keeping certain animals in cages, including Dr. Dillamond, who can no longer speak at all. Infuriated, Elphaba releases all the animals, who rampage through Glinda's wedding before she and Fiyero can be wed. Elphaba is nearly captured. Fiyero rescues her, and they both fly away together. Somebody pointed out that Fiyero sure points his gun at a lot of people in the movie, but no one gets shot. I think he should have shot someone.
Here's the thing I wanted to bring up that I think absolutely has to do with the fact that they split this movie in two. And it's because this movie is not for people like us who like Wicked because it is a, classic Broadway show that came out when we were young people. This is now a movie and franchise for 8-year-old girls. This is a movie and franchise for Patrick Klepek, the game journalist's 2 daughters. So true. Patrick Klepek, formerly of many game sites, but currently of Remap Radio, has been talking about how his daughters are super, super into Wicked. And in particular, recently, he talked about how his oldest, I believe, came down with one of these like respiratory illnesses that have been going around, and her antibiotics were going to kick in 48 hours. And that was like right before she was going to go see Wicked, and she was so worried. She asked Patrick, like, "Hey, how long is 48 hours? Because I gotta be be able to see this fucking movie, and she was like counting out the time before her medicine would work so she could go see this film. She was so Patrick telling the story is so adorable. It's so cute to think of a young girl so worried about not being able to see this movie, and that just kind of made something click in me, like, oh yeah, this is going to be the first exposure of many young people to this musical. And I think that is one, obviously, would I have liked them to have the same experience that I had when I first saw Wicked, which was to say, watching what is broadly a better representation and interpretation of these works? Yeah. But I also think it's going to expose a lot of young people to theater. It's going to, harbor in them a love of the craft. I think it's going to make Grande and Erivo, beloved to them in the same way that Chernovith and Menzel, Idina Menzel are to us. And most importantly, it's going to make young people understand the weird homoerotic tension you get with someone when you are a woman and you are also a woman, and you have like weird, very, very intense feelings about each other, but they're not exactly romantic, but you're a young person and you don't know what to do with them. That's one important. And two, it's going to make them understand grief. It's going to show them that not all stories end happy. Sometimes the person you care about most in the whole world steals your fiance and fakes her death to keep your fiance from you. And I just love the idea. I know I haven't listened. Patrick hasn't talked about this on Remap, but I would love to hear in 5 years, Klepek be like, yeah, my girls, they talked about that show, and the thing that they remember about it is that it ended super fucked up. And I like that. I'm glad that young people are not going to be exposed solely to methods of storytelling where everything ends happy. Sometimes things should have a fucked up weird ending that was dramatically influenced by the Iraq War.
I would agree with you if this was one movie. Unfortunately, it's 2 movies, and I am so sorry to the parents that are going to be subjected to 5.5 hours of Wicked all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And also fuck them kids. You know what I mean?
Sure, but I just think it's very funny to imagine somebody waiting for 5 hours to see how this movie ends, and then being like, "Wait, she fucking dies," and then being like, "Wait, no, she leaves her best friend." I think that's great. I love that.
There's such a tension that you're exposing to me, which is like, yeah, we'll talk about the definitive proof that this is a movie for 8-year-olds. We're coming up on it. It is simultaneously a movie for 8-year-olds, and it's trying to be a movie for also us, right? People who enjoy Wicked on Broadway, while being one of the most expensively produced things on planet Earth, with a giant global marketing campaign and a insane meta surrounding it. Because if you look at the press tour these people are doing, and it's strange because it's trying to appeal to everybody, but it doesn't have the deftness of a Pixar, or like, I'm thinking specifically of like Up, to cross those generational boundaries in a way that is skillful. It's a really weird movie. It's I don't know. This is bananas to me. Anyway, Glinda is understandably pretty put out by this. She sings her "I'm Not That Girl" reprise here. She suggests to Morrible and the wizard that they use Nessa as bait to draw Elphaba out. This does result in Morrible causing the tornado and dropping a house on Nessa Rose as she goes out in the storm to search for Bach. The tornado fucks. It's fun. I love seeing the tornado. And here's where we get to the part of the movie that I think is the worst part of the movie and is criminal and had me holding in laughter in a packed theater. So I love As Long As You're Mine. I think it's a fun little love ballad, but I'll say it on stage it's also very boring because like Elphaba and Fiyero just kind of grope at each other in like a Broadway way for
there's some neck kissing, but that's it.
That's it. Yeah, there's not much you can do. I would say the part where the wizard fucks Elphaba's mom in the very beginning is hornier than As Long as You're Mine on that stage.
I agree.
But here's what John M. Chu does because this is a movie for 8-year-olds. He has Elphaba and Fiyero in separate rooms for half the song.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Elphaba is singing the fuck song in a staircase for a little bit there, and then she comes out to see fine ass Jonathan Bailey staring at her like red string collection of shit fondly, as you do. Mind you, she is wearing very sexy pajamas, so you are seeing a little bit of Elphaba thigh, but also the biggest
at the same time.
The biggest mitt fuck cardigan seen in your life.
Listen, if it doesn't not do it for me, don't get me wrong.
No, I actually like the outfit. I think it's kind of horny.
Yeah, it's great, but it is hilarious to be like, before I fuck, I'm gonna put on more clothes.
Yeah, it is. I actually. Hot take, I like the fuck cardigan. I think seeing like a little bit of thigh really did it for me. I was like, this is kind of sexy. But that's just me. I dress like a Mormon housewife. But anyway, then they do the thing that I hate, which Superman did it too. This is just a taste thing for me. They float up for a kiss. Don't do that to me.
Why
Whose
not?
fantasy is that?
It's fun. People love getting picked up during sex.
My feet are on the ground.
To quote what I said yesterday, you don't like to be sexually hoisted?
No! No, I want to be on the ground. I hated it. I hated it in Superman. I hate it here. It takes me out of the fantasy. And then they go to fuck in Elphaba's tree bed, which this is too many location changes for one song. If you're trying to create a sense of intimacy, 4 locations is too many locations. Pick one.
I will defend this because they had to make this nest. They had to like gather the branches. They had a 40-person team weave this nest out of branches and shit. And you know what?
For what?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't add to the movie at all. No, it doesn't add to the movie at all. I love it. I don't care. I want the camera to... I don't give a shit. Those 40 people made a fuck nest and it needs to be on camera. Like, look.
Why couldn't they make the fuck nest? Why couldn't they stage the whole song at the fuck nest then?
Now hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
Wicked 3.
4 locations is too many. If you want to pick the fuck nest, you can. But make it just there then. Do the thing they do on stage is do 100 camera angles. Do you think Jonathan Bailey of Bridgerton fame, you think Anthony Bridgerton can't work a fuck camera? His season of Bridgerton's the best Bridgerton. That's a low bar.
Damn.
But I'm right. He has the horniest scenes in that show. He's working. He's trying so hard. He's running his hands up her cardigan arms. He's looming. But you know what he is in this movie, unfortunately, Aaron? And this is a metaphor that I think will speak to both of us. He's the Hinata. He is a character that is ostensibly so good. And you're like, man, I'm rooting for you. But he stands no chance to the homoerotic tension happening around him.
Yeah. Again, I don't think that's a problem with this movie, though.
That's a problem with Wicked 100%. Because remember, when did Wicked premiere? 2003. Who was president in 2003? George W. Bush.
So I was watching the parts of this musical that did not get, a lot of this musical actually did get changed, and a lot of the references to George W. Bush's presidency, like there's a bit where they talk about how we're about to get the part where Glinda and Elphaba meet over Nessa's body, and Nessa says hold on, or Glinda says hold on, I have to
does Glinda talk about drones?
Okay, quote, Elphaba, you call this an accident, referring to Nessa having a house dropped on her. Glinda, yes, well, maybe not an accident, but Elphaba, well then, what would you call it? Glinda, well, a regime change. which is absolutely a shot at George W. Bush invading Afghanistan in 2003. A crazy thing to joke about, Steven Schwartz, but sure. Glad that one didn't make the cut.
The creative team that brought you No Place Like Home, huh? Anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and then, so they fuck, right? They imply fuck, right? It goes to
yeah,
fuck.
listen, they don't even, do they kiss? I think they kiss. Think they kiss. But it's like not that long. It's like closed lips.
Jonathan Bailey's doing his best. And then Jonathan Bailey says a line that John M. Chu added that I think should get John M. Chu taken to The Hague, because there is an inherent problem with Elphaba no matter who you cast. And I talked to Marty about this the night that I saw this movie, so I know I'm not that crazy. It doesn't matter who you cast as Elphaba. It's just a hot lady with green makeup. Like, there is no woman that you can dig out of a bog that is going to be ugly enough to warrant the reaction that Elphaba gets from the Land of Oz. So, you have Jonathan Bailey, sexiest man of the year, Jonathan Bailey, with Cynthia Erivo, who does nothing but serve cunt every day of her life. And she does the thing that the musical does, right? She starts laughing, and then Fiyero goes, "What's up?" And then she goes, "For the first time, da 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 da, I feel wicked." And then instead of stopping the scene there, which is where it stops,
that's not true.
Musical. Oh no, it's just shit.
Nope,
after
that's
it.
not true. This is what happened. I've got the script up. I watched it again because I wanted to be sure.
Well, does he say the shit that he says to her in the movie?
I'm gonna read it. I feel wicked. Music ends. They kiss. Elphaba continues. I just wish, Fiyero, what Elphaba, that I could be beautiful for you. Fiyero, Elphaba, don't tell me that I am. You don't have to lie to me. Fiyero, it's not lying. It's looking at things another way.
So
it's
John
from the musical.
That's from the musical. Ooh,
yep.
John, you should have cut it. John, you should have cut it.
He should have. It's a fucking dog shit line. But you know what? They should have cut a lot of shit from this musical, and then they would have had nothing else.
Oh, John, I'm so sorry. I was blaming you for that. John, I'm sorry.
I told you.
I told you. Cut it.
I told you, Leyla. It's not John's fault.
You should have cut it, John. It's such a terror. Because you can kind of get away with it on stage because everyone is so far away. You cannot get away with it when you're looking at Cynthia Erivo's beautiful freckled green face in up close 4K.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking stupid thing to say, right? Like, it's like, oh, this conventionally attractive woman in green makeup is ugly. Like, no, like we are decades out from people wanting to fuck orcs at this point. Like, what are we doing? Yeah,
what are we doing? Anyway. So Elphaba then has a That's So Raven vision of Nessa getting squashed, goes to try and save her, but it's too late. She confronts Glinda, who has just given a young girl from the land of Kansas Nessa's shoes. So Glinda's there like mourning Nessa Rose. Does Glinda know that this is her fault? It's very unclear from the movie.
The movie makes it clear Glinda does not believe this is her fault because she later on she goes and talks to Madame Chu, Madame Chu, Jesus, Michelle
Morrible.
Yeoh, Madame Morrible, and she's like, so about that tornado, isn't that so crazy? And then Madame Morrible's like, hey, you wanted to be Glinda the Good, right? You like, fuck off. Like, I know what you're doing. Like, she like lays into Glinda here. Yeah, I think it's completely played straight that Glinda truly doesn't believe that Nessa's death is her fault. And to be fair, in the musical, and I think in the movie too, they're like, you could start a rumor about how her sister's in trouble. And then they are like, the wizard and Morrible are like, hey, Elphaba's too smart. Our rumor won't work. We have to actually, do something to her. But yeah, it's pretty clear that Glinda does not believe that Nessa's death is directly her fault.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a clumsy beat, but I think it's clumsy in the show too then.
Yes, right. Again, not the movie's fault.
Okay, fair enough. They have a fight, which is insane because it does start with 2 bitch slaps.
From the musical.
Should have cut it. What?
I think it's fun, right? It's played for laughs in the musical too. It's fun.
Well, the fight, I like. The bitch slaps I think you should cut. Does that make sense?
I understand, but like again, if you're trying to do that thing of adaptation, like how much can you cut before you're like this is too much adaptation, right?
I don't know. Have them shove each other. Have them whack each other with their sticks. I think there's a billion ways to start a fight that isn't cat fight bitch slap.
I think that is just like a product of 2003 and Steven Schwartz being like, isn't it funny when women have a cat fight?
I can't stand these people. Fiyero intervenes again, this time by threatening to shoot Glinda. Glinda's big wet eyes are there. Elphaba is able to escape with the monkeys, but Fiyero is captured and tortured in some way too horny crucifixion shots.
Listen, the crucifixion is inherently horny. That's like 20% of Catholicism's appeal.
Yeah, well, the Catholics, we've discussed this many a time. Catholics understand aesthetics. Elphaba retreats to, is that the name of the castle, Kiyama-ko?
Yes, I had to look it up in the Architectural Digest video where they talk about building the set. The castle's name's Kiyama-ko. They say it like maybe once in the entire movie, and it's like impossible to figure out what he's saying. But yeah, it's two
is it
words.
When they're snuggled up in bed? And
yes, and he's like, by the way, I have a castle that has secret entrances in it.
Yeah, they're snuggled up in bed, and he's like, I have a castle that has secret entrances in it while they are freshly post-fuck, and in order to keep this movie chaste and 8-year-old friendly, you can only see Jonathan Bailey's fucking collarbone because he is covered by the fuck cardigan like a fucking blanket, and Cynthia Erivo is fully wrapped in the other blanket. It is the funniest post-fuck shot I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, listen, sometimes you're cold.
No flesh free. Well, I guess if you're in your fuck nest in the forest,
it's
it does
drafty.
get a little breezy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elphaba retreats to Kiyama-ko and tries to cast a spell to shield Fiyero, but in her grief, swears off of being a good person ever again. This is No Good Deed, which is my favorite song. I think Erivo's performance is fine. I like it. I think everybody was a little more enchanted with it than I was. That's okay. It's a good performance. I was distracted by the visual mush of Kiyama-ko.
You didn't like it?
Yeah, it was so brown.
Oh, I thought it was neat.
The whole thing was brown.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, well, you're a nerd.
I think this is the main thing. I was like, if they don't fuck up No Good Deed, I'm broadly going to like the movie because I think it's like maybe the only good, I mean, that's not true, obviously. But it is the best song in Act 2. It still gets blown away by Defying Gravity, but it's a pretty good song. I think Erivo does a great job. That's all I really wanted out of this. And there's a cool bit where there's the flying monkeys that are kind of zipping around the set. They had to make the set largely CGI so they could have the fucking flying monkeys, but they did build a lot of it, which is really cool. And there's a bit where there's like red lightning flashing as Elphaba, sings her song, and I think it's neat. I think it's a cool moment. I liked it.
I was completely underwhelmed. Meanwhile, the 4 heroes of the Wizard of Oz are assembled. So that's Dorothy, the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, who is being tactfully left off screen. Mm-hmm. They are sent off to take Elphaba's broomstick in March of the Witch Hunters, which does fuck. I love a Bob song. I thought this was fun.
It's really good.
Glinda, seeing how absolutely unhinged Bach has become as the Tin Man, resolves to stop sitting on the sideline and help her friend. This is Girl in the Bubble. Just an underutilization of Ariana Grande.
So fun fact, in the Wikipedia, Chu has said Ariana was sick the day they filmed this.
Oh, so, you could feel it.
Yeah. It's, that's not her fault. It's tough, but that's showbiz.
But it's also just a completely mid song. But you can also feel her holding herself back. So that's a bummer. I like Ariana Grande. Generally, I've always liked her pop music. I think she's a fun little pop diva. I like her whistle tone shit. I think she's a great performer. So
is she a homewrecker? Yes, but you know what? Who can blame her?
If I looked like Ariana Grande, I would also ruin some lives.
Listen.
Also, can I just shout out to her makeup artist? Because her hands are fully tattooed. And they, not in that fucking movie, they're not.
Yep. No.
Good job. So Glinda arrives at Elphaba's castle and begs her to stop her campaign against Oz. Elphaba Chisteria. So Chistery brings like a torn piece of Fiera's clothes to Elphaba just to signify that he's dead. And she like holds it for a while in silence. We're holding space for the death of Fiero. And Ariana's like looking at her and she's like, Fiero, like, what's wrong? And Elphaba's like, I don't think we're gonna see him ever again. And then she gives the piece of fabric back to Chistery.
Specifically, she says we've seen his face for the last time, which is like a, get it?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, because then you know whose face we see when we do see Fiero again is Ryan fucking Reynolds. Anyway.
He does look extremely like Ryan Reynolds.
It's so distracting. Anyway. I think this is the funniest ending sequence on planet Earth because she then gives the piece of fabric back to Chistery, and then you never hear about Fiero again until like the scene where the ending scene where he returns. And they seemingly do not really give a shit about his death because Dorothy's about to show up. Elphaba has Dorothy at this point in the musical locked in the basement, and Dorothy has to sit there while these two fucking lesbians sing for good.
Yes, no, everybody on TikTok is doing skits from Dorothy's point of view, like, oh my, what did they fucking, oh my
funny.
God, they were roommates? What? Wow, I don't even care that I'm locked in here anymore, just ear pressed to the trapdoor.
It is so fucking funny as a sequence. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was so distracted. I'm like, you have a child in the cellar.
This ain't about her. This ain't about her.
So Elphaba makes Glinda promise that she'll never try to rehabilitate her image or clear her name. The two of them apologize for what they've done to each other. This is the body of for good. Elphaba then seemingly allows Dorothy to kill her in a bucket of water while Ariana Grande watches in a closet. And by the way, before she closes that closet door, they say I love you to each other.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's
exhausted.
Great. You don't what is wrong with that? What is your beef with this moment?
My beef with this moment is that it plays into the stupid meta of the stupid movie where every fucking interview these women are holding hands and crying at each other, and it's John Chu going, oh yeah, I've heard the Gelfie shit all over the internet. Well, they're gonna say I love you to each other. Here you go, lesbians. And it's this stupid, it is the curse of the adaptation of adapting something from 2003 that you're adapting queer bait, and it fucking sucks. Lesbians deserve more.
I mean, I guess I won't speak to whether or not this is a queer bait, but...
Of course it is! Because Elphaba goes off to Arrakis to fight the sandworms with Fiero, who also deserves better! I can't stand this. This is a shitty movie. This is terrible. This is a terrible musical, actually, structurally. I just happened to have watched it when I was 15 and gay. Anyway. Fuck, Jesus Christ. Glinda's pretty upset by everything that just happened. Chistery gives her one of Elphaba's little green bottles that is very similar to the kind Jeff Goldblum has been drinking out of this entire movie. Glinda realizes that the wizard is Elphaba's father. He uses this information to blackmail him into leaving Oz. And then, using the flying monkey, she enacts a coup, imprisoning Morrible and establishing herself as the new political power in Oz.
I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy that Madame Morrible rolls over like this. She recently dropped a fucking tornado on an entire province of Oz that she would let Glinda, who is magically be powerless, just overthrow her like this is wild. But we gotta wrap this fucking movie up. But I just think it's very funny.
We gotta wrap this fucking movie up. Michelle Yeoh, you deserved a much more fun ending, but whatever. The Scarecrow, who is actually Fiero, which the way that they did this, the cowards, instead of putting just a scarecrow face on him, they glued, CGI'd burlap to every micro chisel of this man's beautiful face. And what we've learned is that burlap Jonathan Bailey looks distractingly like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I mean, Deadpool shows up, which is crazy, but
It
you know
is
what? It's fine.
Fucking crazy. But he shows up to Kyamako, knocks on a trapdoor. This is from the play. Elphaba's been secretly hiding down there. They go off, which so I think I like in the play. It is nice that she goes in the trapdoor because it is a direct reference to the fact that the way that they pulled off the effect in the 1938 Wizard of Oz was that the Wicked Witch of the West sunk down on a platform to simulate the fact that she was melting, leaving behind like fabric or whatever in her hat. It's a nice gesture. I like it a lot. They go off to spend the rest of their lives on the Dune planet. I think it's really funny. And they sing like a little finale kind of reprise of For Good or something.
Glinda activates the book at the end.
Grimory, yeah.
I don't know why they did that, but whatever. I mean, I broadly think that this movie sets out what it achieves to do, which is to be another movie and make, $500 million or $500 million. And yeah, it was completely fine.
I'm glad someone thinks so. I hope, I'm really on a tear of haterism. This isn't normal for me. I'm not that much of I'm a lover. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I mean, one of the haterisms was provoked by me. I made you watch Australia knowing that it would send you on to a 30-minute psychic maelstrom tangent, but so that's Wicked for Good. Clearly we had pretty different opinions on it, but I do. There was
something in your notes where I did just say, "Man, we're just different people."
It was them crying and as being separated at the door.
Yeah.
Which, like, hey, that's fair. But yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot. I think we've covered a lot of what we wanted to talk about for this, which is that ultimately, kind of a cash grab to split it into two movies. I think for the cash grab that it turned out pretty good. And, I wish we would stop doing this, splitting movies in half that don't need to be split in half.
I think it could have been worse. That's what I'll say.
It could have been way worse. Yes. Like, this could have been a Cats level catastrophe, and it just wasn't. And even then, Cats was, like, fine.
It was watchable, and I think if someone put it on at a party in the background with snacks, I think I would have a great time singing along, having a fun time. But if you're telling me, Leyla, you have to sit there in a theater and engage with this, and it's the only thing you're focused on, and you are not allowed to sing along, then I start to get irate.
Yeah,
that's where I sit. Yeah.
So one thing that's kind of nice about this is that this is also our 199th episode. So
that's crazy.
We're about to hit syndication, which is exciting. So you can see us on your local
PBS station.
PBS stations on USA. Characters Welcome. We'll be there soon. But yeah, for our 200th episode, we'll be doing something a little bit, actually very similar to our Hugh Jackman thing. We'll be doing another smorgasbord. And as Leyla said at the top of the episode, Mortified format will change. You'll hear more about that on the next episode. But yeah, I think it's really exciting that we've got this far. And I think this is an interesting way to close out a chapter of Mortified, is to be like, here we are watching and talking about musicals, a thing that we have been doing since this podcast began. So
yeah. I mean, brother, am I happy to do this with you every 2 weeks? It's a fun time.
It is. When we are not changing each other for the better, where can we be found on the internet, Leyla?
You can find me at LEYLSES on Tumblr and Blue Sky. I am close to wrapping up my scripts for my first 2 YouTube videos. You can find me at Holy Cow Games. It's a blank page. It'll be populated soon. Go Swords. Sabers beat the wild. That was pretty exciting. What about you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at AA Voigt, Tumblr at Monster Factory Fanfic, and youtube.com/AA Voigt, where I talk about tabletop RPGs. Hopefully, within a month, I will have released something I'm titling The Golden Age of Indie RPGs, which is a I mean, it's a, it's going to be a YouTube video, but I'm hoping it's kind of a documentary about the design trends of the last 15 years of indie tabletop games. It is the most ambitious thing I've ever done. It is killing me, but I think it'll be good. I think it'll be pretty good. So if that is something that interests you, please go and check that out here in about a month or so. Our theme song is Obsolete by Keshko from the album Filmmakers Reference Kit Volume 2. You can find more of their music at keshko.bandcamp.com. Leyla, how shall we say goodbye to the Land of Oz for now?
Well, Aaron, this isn't our last episode for the year, so we'll be back in a clock tick.
We'll see you all later.